Hello and welcome fellow crafters and felters. In today's tutorial we'll be creating these adorable needle felted cute country cows. Today we'll be making the beige one, but you can get really creative and choose any colour that you like. The material list is on the screen for you, so pause that if you need. We'll be starting off with some white carded wool. This is just for the base, so you could use any scrap carded wool if you like, because it won't be seen. The measurements are up on the screen in inches, so approximately 6 inches in length and 4 inches wide. And we're rolling that up into a cylindrical shape. Just rolling the end inwards and continue rolling the body into a cylindrical shape. Just giving a rough measurement to start us off with, just under 4 inches long and just 2 inches roughly on the width. So I'm grabbing my multi-needle tool here. It's going to speed up the process, but feel free, if you've only got one needle, don't stress, you can just use that too. We're just going to continue felting around the base, making sure that we hold that shape together and making smooth edges. So it's a smooth cylindrical shape we're aiming for. But what the multi-needle tool does here, it's just speeding up the process as you felt along. This step should take you approximately 10 minutes to do. So just take your time and we'll felt the base together. So just having a size comparison here with my other country cow. So the base here has been felted into 3 inches long and roughly 2 inches wide. I'm just seeing how high my country cow is sitting at the moment, so it's approximately 6 inches high we're aiming for. But again, it's totally up to you if you want to make your cow a little bit smaller or bigger. Now we're going to put his coat on. So I've got some beige carded wool here, and we're just going to cover the base, so we don't want to see any white. So I'm just spreading out the beige wool a little bit, and using my multi-needle tool we're just going to attach it to the base. Later on we're going to use a fine needle to smooth out the coat, but for now we just want to attach it. Now if you're enjoying the tutorial so far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel. Your support really means a lot and encourages me to make cute tutorials just like this one. Once we've attached his coat and none of the base is showing, I'm just going to do a quick measurement again, around about 6 inches all around in diameter. So that's what we're aiming for. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it just gives you a bit of a scale to work with. I'm now grabbing my 40 gauge fine needle. This is to make a smooth effect onto the coat as we're felting. So it's totally up to you. You can also use a 38, but for the fine details and for a smooth effect, I find a finer needle really does the job. So we're just going to take our time and felt around the body of your cow. So this will take a little bit of time, as felting does. It does require a little bit of patience, but it can be quite therapeutic at the same time. So just enjoy the process and felt along with me. By now we're just finishing off the body. It should be nice and firm now, looking a bit like this. It's okay if you need to take a little bit more time. It's not a race, but just doing final measurements, approximately 5.5 inches. You can see there that it has decreased a little bit. That is the magic of needle felting. So it's best to keep that into account when you're starting your own projects. So now that we've done the body, we're going to move on to his face. So we'll grab some core wool or any coloured wool that you like. I'm just using white because we will cover it again with beige. He'll be 3 inches in length and 2 inches wide. And we're just going to roll that up into a circle. Just showing you here on screen what it looks like. Then next we're going to grab our multi-needle tool, and like we did with the body, we're just going to felt that into place, not losing the shape. We're just wanting soft edges here. So a quick measurement is 2 inches in length and just under 1.5 inches in width. And we're just going to felt around using our multi-needle tool, making the edges all soft into place, but not felting too hard. We're not really stabbing at the wall with pressure, we're just going to lightly felt around the edges. So now that that's done, we are going to cover that with our beige coloured wool, going to match the body of the cow. Just folding the beige over the base of the face. Only need a little bit of wool here just to cover the base, so don't put too much on. It's much easier to add wool than to take away, so just keep that into account. We'll use our multi-needle tool to attach that to his face, and again it's the same measurement as before, 2 inches in length and just under 1.5 in width. Grabbing our fine needle again, we're going to do exactly the same thing we did with the body and creating a smooth effect with our 40 gauge needle, and just taking our time felting around to make his face all smooth. So now the face should be looking a bit like this. It's all smoothed over with the 40 needle. Just having a look how it will sit on the body of the cow. It's all in proportion for what I want it to look like. So we will now attach the eyes. I'm using my owl here to create a hole for where the eye will be placed. I leave the owl in. It just makes it easier to add the eye later on. I am using PVA clear glue to add very sparingly to the end of the 5mm plastic black eye that we're going to attach to your cow's face. Again, you don't have to use black plastic eyes, you could also just felt in black eyes if you want. It's totally up to you, but we're just repeating that process for the other eye on the, adding some glue and placing that in his face. He's looking cute, but he needs some features now, so we'll add his nose. I'm using a nice brown color for his nose, but you can really get creative with this again. Just giving you a quick measurement there. You don't need too much wool for his nose. Don't want it too thick. But what I'm doing here is I'm making a little bit of an oval shape and folding in very gently and lightly the edges, just so we can create that shape. Just having a look to see how the nose will be sitting on his face. It'll be around about 1 inch in length. So if you're happy with that, grab your 38 star needle, and I'm going to felt round the edges while attaching it to the face of the cow. Again, we don't want to lose that shape, so just gently felting around the edges and attaching it to the face. our aim here is to attach it but also smooth around the edges with your 38 star needle. Make them look a little bit like this. And once you're happy with the edges, you can just felt the rest into place. But again, don't felt too hard, otherwise you may break your needle or lose the shape. So this is what he's looking like so far. And again, we kept the 1 inch in length. So now we're going to add little nostrils to him. Now I'll be using a dark brown for his nostrils, but in my previous beige cow I used black, so it completely is up to you on what colour. We just need a really tiny amount, so not too much. We're going to just felt that into place, making a circular shape. Very small will the nostrils be, so you don't need to make them too big. And again, we're just creating a circle shape on the other side. So felt that into place. He's coming together quite nicely. Now that the features of his face is done, we're going to jump into creating his little ears. We're going to grab some beige wool, exactly the same colour you used for his face and body. We only need a very small amount, so don't make them too thick. Look a bit like this. I'll give you a measurement, which is just over 2 inches in length and 1 inch wide. And we're going to use our multi-needle tool just to start creating an ear shape. So I make his ears into a little bit of a half oval shape. As you can see, I'm just felting lightly so it doesn't attach too much onto the felting mat that you have. And then using my 38 star needle to refine the edges. Just peeling that off to show you what it looks like and to give you a bit of a measurement. It's only decreased in size a little bit, but mainly want to focus on how it will look on the face of your cow. So don't be afraid to tailor it to what shape and size you would like for your cow. But I'm again using my 38 star needle just to felt in the ear. Once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to add a little bit of chocolate brown like I did for the nose inside the ear. So we're going to felt at an angle. We don't want to felt straight on, because as you can see at the back we want to eliminate any of the brown wool fibers going through the back of the ear. So just having a look to see how the ear will sit, but for now we're going to have to repeat that process to create the ear for the other side. While we're felting along, I would love for you to drop a comment below and let me know what colour cow did you end up choosing. Did you choose a nice chocolate or this beautiful beige, or maybe you created a purple cow? Either way, please let me know below. Okay, once the ears are done, we are going to attach them to your cow's face. Just looking at how it's going to sit there first, and then we'll use our 38 star needle to felt in the ear. I want them facing forward, so that's how I like them, but you could put your cow's ears facing down or at a certain angle. It's totally up to you. So just felting and attaching the ears at the back of the face. We don't really want to lose any of the shape of the ear, so refrain from felting it anywhere else. Yeah. Now we'll attach the other side. Repeat the process there, but he's really coming together now. It's always exciting once you've done their little face. My favourite part will be the hairdo, which will be coming up soon. So He's looking quite adorable. And now we're going to attach his face onto the body. So I'm just using my 38 star needle, and we're going to attach the head all the way around the edges onto the body. So just take your time and be very careful in this step, because we do not want to stab our fingers on the other side. So just felt gently. It takes a little while to do this to make sure that the fibers are intertwined and attached with the body and the face. So the best way to double check to see if it is firmly attached is just wobble the head just slightly. If it holds its place, then it's definitely attached effectively. So that's one way I double check. You could also add a little bit of beige wool around, kind of like a scarf, but just around the attachment, so it really does secure it into place. So this step is optional, totally up to you, but I'm just adding a really fine piece of beige carded wool. Now we're up to my favorite part, adding his hair. So we're going to get some yarn. I am using a beige colored yarn, the closest color I could find for his coat. And I'm totally up to you, but I'm going to start off with 2 inches in length for the yarn. But if you want his hair to be longer or shorter, it's completely up to you. So you can get really creative. So I've just cut a little piece off. And I'm just going to separate the fibers to make them into individual little locks, as you can see here. So just take your time to gently pull that apart. We'll try not to lose its shape just yet, so make sure you're pulling that just gently. We got some little hairdo strands. You could leave them curly if you like, but as you can see, his is a little fuzzy. And how we create that effect is to get a comb. This is like a pet brush. You could find that anywhere, even on Amazon. And we're just going to lightly brush the yarn to make it fuzzy. As you can see, it doesn't take much, so just lightly brush that. Now we can add his hair to the top of his head. I'm using my 38 star needle to felt in the strands, just leaving a little bit at the back, as you can see here. And you can be very creative of how you want his hair to flow. So at the moment he's only got a little bit of hair. We're going to get more yarn soon. But just felt that into place part by part as we cut it, because it's just easier to see then how much hair he actually needs. So I'm cutting off 3 bits of yarn here, and then repeating the process by separating the fibers and making them into little individual noodle strands, and then brushing them out to make them fuzzy. looking extremely cute and very much looks the part once you've added his little hairdo. Hope you enjoyed that. So now we're going to move on to his legs and hooves. Pretty easy process, so let's get into it. So we're going to grab some beige carded wool just to match his body. And it's only a thin piece that's approximately 4 inches in length and 2 inches wide. And we're just going to lightly felt that into the mat with the multi-needle tool just a little bit to create a thin line. And then we will roll that up with our fingers into a long leg shape. Use our 38 star needle here just to felt that into place. I want to keep that shape, so just folding in the edge there. Don't want to make it too thick, we want a consistent thickness throughout the whole of the leg, so do feel around. If you feel like there's an air bubble or something, add a little bit of carded wool as you go. So it's just using a 38 star needle here to felt that into a leg shape, picking out any debris that you might find in the wool. That's perfectly normal. So it should look a little bit like that. I'm rolling it in my hands to transfer some heat to compress that shape. It's roughly around 2.5 inches in length that we're aiming for. This length will be for the front legs only, as we will create the back legs a little bit shorter in length. So to add his hoof, we're just adding some of the brown carded wool that I also use for his nose and his ears, wrapping that round the base of your leg and then felting that into place. So I'm just starting to felt all the way around with the 38 star needle. You could also use your fine needle here too, but this is just about attaching it onto the end of your leg. So once you're putting your hoof together, we'll just grab a quick measurement here. It's 1/2 inch of the hoof attached to the leg. Just having a look to see what the leg will look like. It's in proportion to how I want it, so I'm just going to grab my multi-needle tool and felt that onto the body. Don't worry at the moment if it looks a little bit rough while you're attaching it, because we will place some beige carded wool over the top to make it look smooth. So I just grabbed my 38 star needle there just to felt along the edges of the leg, and then we're going to repeat the process for the next leg by rolling it up and making sure if the consistency is the same throughout the leg. Again, folding in the edge of the leg. Now that you've attached both front legs, we are going to halve the measurement here to create the back legs. So repeating the same process with just half the measurement there. Now that we've added all his legs, we're going to grab a slither of beige carded wool, the same colour as the body, and cover all the joins and smooth around any imperfections you may find. So I'm using my 40 gauge needle here, a fine needle. Obviously this process is sped up, but just take your time and making sure that every part is smooth now, because this will be the finishing touches to your piece before we add the tail and his cowbell. He's really coming together now. He's just missing his tail. So we're going to grab some beige carded wool, around about 4 inches in length. And with our multi-needle tool, we're felting that into the mat, folding it in half and then felting it again. Grabbing our 38 star needle, we're going to fold in the end of the tail at an angle so that the fibers don't get too stuck into the mat. The tail's a bit flat at the moment, so we're going to transfer some heat from our hands by rolling it in between our hands into a cylindrical shape, as you can see there. Now we're going to grab some yarn to get some hair at the end of the tail, approximately just under 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches in length. It's up to you as well. So I'm cutting off around about 3 pieces here. You won't need too much yarn. And again, we're separating the yarn fibers to get individual strands so we can attach that to the end of the tail. We will brush it out again so it matches his hairdo, but if you kept your cow's hair curly, then you can skip that step and you don't have to brush it. So I'm just grabbing some of the fibers, and at an angle I am just felting them into the end of the tail. Again, I am just felting lightly because some of the fibers will come through because it is quite thin, so just gently felting that into place. If you feel like some parts of the tail need a little bit more wool, just cut off some yarn and repeat the process here. So this is what it will look like, your cow's tail. So we're keeping the 4 inches in length. Anything that goes over that we will use to fold over the attachment of the tail, as you can see here. So we're just adding it to the back of the cow with a multi-needle tool and then using our 38 star needle to felt around the tail and hide any of the attachment that we may have. You could also use your 40 gauge needle too. He's all together now, so this is an optional step, but I thought he looked really cute with a cowbell. So to attach that, we're just using some twine. And again, you can get creative of how long or short you want yours, but approximately 6 inches long is my twine. And I've got this little crafty cowbell, which is completely adorable and really finishes off his look. So we're just attaching that by tying the back of the twine, his head. So you could also glue it. But this is perfectly fine and it really completes his look. He's so cute. So congratulations, you have now completed this tutorial and created your very own cute country cow. Please leave a comment below and let me know if you enjoyed this tutorial and what color cow you made. And until next time, stay cozy and crafty. Bye!